Rise up 12s. Can you feel that electricity in the air, that unmistakable surge of anticipation that only comes when the Emerald City is buzzing with football energy? This is your team, your passion. And we're about to dive into what might be the most transformative season we've seen in years, while the rest of the NFL sleeps on us. Something massive is brewing in Seattle. The disrespect continues to rain down on our sideline mastermind. But guess what? That's exactly when the Seahawks are most dangerous, when they count us out, when they overlook us, when they rank us near the bottom, when we should be near the top. The defensive genius who completely transformed our squad mid-season last year is getting zero credit from the national media, can you believe it? The man who turned a fourth-round pick into an elite safety and completely overhauled our scheme to create a top 10 defense by season's end is being treated like an afterthought. But that's not even the biggest story shaking the foundations of Lumen Field right now, because while the national media sleeps, a towering new weapon has arrived in Seattle, bringing with him the kind of size-speed combination that makes defensive coordinators wake up in cold sweats. A physical monster who could single-handedly change the entire complexion of our offense this season. And just when you thought that was the end of the story, there's an electrifying young talent whose blazing 4.4 speed could redefine what it means to wear Seahawks blue and green. A dual-threat dynamo, whose name isn't being discussed nearly enough, but whose impact could send shockwaves through the entire league. 12s, if you're feeling the energy of this report so far, hit that like button and subscribe to make sure you never miss these kinds of insider scoops on your beloved Seahawks. The disrespect, the new weapon, the speed demon waiting in the wings. It's all connected in ways that could make this the most explosive season we've seen in years. And it all starts with the man patrolling our sidelines, who's about to make the entire football world eat their words. The football world has spoken, and they've placed Mike Macdonald at 19th among NFL head coaches. 19th. Let that sink in. 12, our defensive mastermind, who transformed the Seahawks from a unit that once led a 31-year-old Cordell Patterson run for a career-high 141 yards into a top 10 defense by season's end, is considered barely better than the bottom third of coaches in the league. The disrespect is staggering. Both Greg Rosenthal and JP Aosta from their comfortable studio chairs have decided that our coach, the man who completely overhauled our scheme mid-season, who had the courage to jettison both linebackers halfway through the campaign, who turned a fourth-round corner into an above-average starting safety, is somehow deserving of this insult. This might be a bit of a reach, said Aosta, about selecting Macdonald at 19th a reach the audacity, as if picking him even that high was doing him some kind of favour, and they're not alone. NBC Sports and some entity called Roto Buller placed him even lower at 23rd. What exactly does Macdonald need to do to gain the respect he deserves, lead the league in defence, win the Super Bowl in his second year? Part the Puet Sound, Waters the man has already shown his brilliance, and yet they talk about him like he's still just a defensive coordinator, not the head coach of our beloved Seahawks. The truth is crystal clear when you look deeper, Telves. There's an unspoken bias against defensive-minded coaches in this league. Just look at the rankings. Offensive coaches dominate the top spots, getting those precious style points, while the architects of dominant defenses are pushed to the background. And make no mistake, Macdonald is being unfairly penalized for the offensive struggles of last season, as if it's his fault that the offensive coordinator was so obviously inept. He was fired immediately after the season ended, as if it's his fault that DK Metcalf was traded or that Tyler Lockett wanted out. The national media seems to be questioning his leadership because we've lost some offensive stars, completely ignoring the fact that he took over from a Hall of Fame legend, had a nearly identical record in his first season, and did it while completely rebuilding a defense that was in shambles. But here's what they don't understand about Mike Macdonald. And about us 12s, we don't need flashy. We don't need the guy wearing fun socks and scoring 50 points against bad teams. Only to shrivel up in the playoffs, we need the steady, brilliant mind who doesn't fade under pressure and doesn't tire of the grind. That's exactly who we have. And speaking of building for the future, wait until you hear about the physical freak we just drafted, who could completely transform our offensive attack this season, just when you thought the disrespect for Mike McDonald, CEIE